Welcome everybody to the Frito and Willie show. We are back
Yeah,
for another show. I'm your host, Frito Marcelin, and we also have your other hosts.
it's Willie Mack in the building. You know what I'm saying? Live from an undisclosed location. It's
He's in a
it's,
bunker
it's,
down somewhere.
it's my living room. You know? So, yeah. Welcome back, y'all.
Yo, Willie, man. Been a beautiful week,
Yes, it has
you
been.
know, in this world of music and
It
life,
really has.
you know. Question I do have for you is,
Mm.
what are some things that you have been listening to or some lines that have captured you this week?
Yo, so I'm gonna talk about this guy a lot. Uh,
Okay.
Freddie Gibbs is now one of my favorite artists. If you're not familiar with Freddie Gibbs is a rapper out of Gary, Indiana. He really exploded in the early early teens, to the late aughts, early teens. He came in like really hyped up, but just like a lot of artists, he had trouble finding his way. Got dropped from a couple of labels, but he's been on a spree the last 3 years, last 3 to 5 years, I would say. His first really big jump was the Pinata album that he did with the legendary Madlib. And then last year he reconnected with Madlib for the second part of their trilogy. They're playing trilogy with the album Bandana. And a couple weeks ago, he came out with a very surprise project with the legendary Alchemist, and they have an album called Alfredo. Get it, Alfredo, Alchemist, and Freddie. And he is just on a tear, and I'm very happy for him. He's been dropping some of the best lines the last couple years. But yeah, on the joint 1985 that's on the new album. Oh man, Michael Jordan 1985. I'm running with a cocaine circus. If you've seen The Last Dance, you get the reference to that. He's just been really just dropping a lot of incredible joints. Um, but one line that actually came from Bandana.
And so Freddie Gibbs. So, I'm not familiar with your boy Freddie Gibbs. I know that you've been
Oh,
hyping him up for a little bit.
yeah,
Why
yeah,
do you
yeah,
like the boy so much, man?
yeah. So the reason I like Freddie is that Freddie is in that lineage of hard rhymers, and when I say hard rhymers, a lot of the bravado's there. But a lot of the bravado is never left, but the lyrics have left. So some of your toughest guys, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. 50 Cent, for example. 50 Cent is um for a very great part of our college life and post college life. 50 Cent was seen as the hard MC, but the lyrics weren't really that great.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it was a lot of bravado, a lot of tough talk, but the lyrics weren't there. But then you have somebody like Pusha T who may not be as physically imposing, but the lines are going to be there. Like Pusha's going to say something that is going to make you do this. You know what I mean? Raekwon, oh my gosh, Raekwon was great at that. Ghostface was great at that. DMX was great at that. Scarface is the king of that, and Freddie is in that Scarface lineage. So this is just such a very disrespectful line right here. Pay for your funeral, get your shit arranged, kiss your wife and say you were solid, then go piss on your grave. Mm.
Yo, Freddie is mad disrespectful.
Freddie is so disrespectful, but that was the imagery there is incredible. Like, kiss your wife, say you were solid. Make sure your shit's arranged. Like, make sure your everything's good to go, your funeral and everything's good in order. But after all that, still go piss on your grave. So this is like level of morals. Like, yo, I got responsibilities. You're my home. You're my brother, my partner, whatever. I'm going to make sure I do the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk down on you to your loved ones. I'm not that guy. I have morals. I have ethics. You still were a rat, dirty dog.
Yeah.
And even in death, I have little respect for you.
Yeah.
And so, like, wow. And so yeah. So a lot of Freddie this week, and we'll talk a little bit more about the second album, the second artist I've been bumping later in this discussion. Spoilers, Run the Jewels. So yeah. So what about you, Frito? What you been bumping this week, man?
So 2 things I've been bumping this week. There's this independent artist or independent producer DJ called DJ Switch 'Em Up.
Oh, okay.
Right, from Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, B-Ham.
B-Ham represent.
Okay.
This is how we met. As you know, my wife has a business, and she was vending at this music networking event here in Atlanta, and I was helping out. I was closing up shop. He wanted to purchase some items from us, and we did that. Cool. He's been one of our best customers ever since. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so now, he loves the product so much, and so it's a very raw video. Let me say that. Let's just say
like raw,
like shot on a smartphone video.
Oh, that type of raw. I thought you meant BET Uncut raw.
Oh, nah, not like that. But that's how raw it is.
I love those videos. Some of the best stuff out there. I'm okay with that.
Your boy's in it, first of all, as well.
You are in it. You gotta post this. This is getting posted in the description of this pod. I can't wait.
Your boy's in it,
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
And so, it's the sound of it is like, I'll give it maybe early rap horror along the lines of Waka Flocka. I don't know if you remember early Waka Flocka down.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah. I remember that sound.
Yeah, so that's how it is, and so I've been trying to bump that for the past week, trying to get it. I love the beat. I need to listen more to the lyrics just to see what content. It's, let's just say it's not, it's a Southern joint. You know what I'm saying? Along the rap horror genre, and your boy got featured in it, so I'm bumping that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been bumping. That's one of the things I've been bumping. The other thing I've been bumping, courtesy of TikTok, because I'm hard on TikTok.
Really?
And TikTok really is where I find new music right now.
I love that we have this dynamic, because I don't have a TikTok account, and so like I'm glad that we have you to keep us current. Go ahead, but please let me know more about TikTok life.
I don't listen to the radio, and
okay.
My time is very limited. So either I'm going nostalgia like to stuff that, okay, I'm feeling like this from 2005 or something like that, or some G's from 2005, or some old school Wu-Tang, or I'm getting my new break of music from TikTok. And to be honest with you, I know music just from that. I'm like, oh, that's that sound from TikTok that I heard.
Okay.
And one of those joints is I Look Good by OT Genesis.
OT Genesis, I Look Good. I thought you was talking about my homie from Texas, that I Look Good. Okay. So it's OT Genesis.
It's OT Genesis. I never heard the song.
Okay. Okay.
But also something that you got to know about TikTok, most of the times, you're only getting like 15 seconds at the most.
So this is like the new Vine?
Okay, so they may let you give you maybe like 20 to 30 seconds of the song, but you could probably only use 15 seconds of it in the video that you shoot.
So TikTok. Okay, now I understand. Okay.
It's kind of a updated Vine, newer version of Vine, but I love it, to be honest with you. It's definitely more robust.
Okay.
You can do a lot more with it. People have done a lot of creative stuff with it. You know what I'm saying? And I thoroughly enjoy it. But I Look Good. I was bumping that. That was my. I don't know how long the song's been out, but I did not hear it until I heard it on TikTok. You know, so those two, and in true OT Genesis fashion, he is being comical with it. You know what I'm saying? It's that cocaine comedy, if you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And so that made me go more into the YouTube to hear the whole song and go into more of a OT Genesis deep dive. So I Look Good, OT Genesis, and Crazy from DJ Switch 'em Up from Birmingham, Alabama. Those are my two.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an eclectic list if I ever heard one. You know what I'm saying? Got Switch 'em Up, some Freddie Gibbs, and some OT Genesis.
I do got to ask you one question though.
Mm-hmm.
How would you compare your boy Freddie Gibbs to Jada from the Locks?
That's a really good comparison, and I need to see if they've done some music together. Wow. I have not seen that connection. Jada is, man, I'm finna say something, bro. You know the big difference between Jada and Freddie?
Go ahead.
Freddie has made 3 incredibly great projects.
Mm-hmm.
Jada's Patrick Ewing. Like, Jada has the stats. I mean, if you did not see Jada demolish Fabulous and Versus a couple weeks ago, good gracious. Jada has everything. Jada has an incredible personality, has a great voice. Jada got lyrics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Jada got serious lyrics. I mean, he said some like super incredible things. Like when he was going against 50, he was saying stuff that, and we were damn near feeling you. Even though your career is based off somebody damn near killing you. Good God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you a felony, but it ain't a predicate. King of New York, but you live in Connecticut. Like, Jada's ugly. Like, Jada got. You know what I'm saying? When you say old head told me until you save money, you're useless. Yeah, and all you ever gonna have is excuses, boy. Like, he is Jada's ridiculous. Bars. Prison bars. Gold bars.
So is it safe to say that
he just don't got the album though? He don't got that body of work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is something we'll talk about in a later part. We'll talk about New York artists, but like, Jada is the best. I think Jada is the best MC that doesn't have a classic. And if he's not, he's definitely in that running. I'm sure we'll do a part where we talk about who's the best lyricists who don't have a classic album. Jada's at the top of that list, and and it's hard to explain why. Is he really sort of stumbles when he tries to make stuff that he thinks is going to hit on the radio? Like, when he tries, like, you could tell when Jada's trying to make a radio hit. And it never, and rarely, some of them come out great. Like, some of them do, like Knock Yourself Out. We did the little dance thing and stuff like that. But, those are like few and far between. A lot of the songs that actually were radio hits, they weren't really intended to be. And then every so often he gives you something like Why. Why was incredible. Probably should have been bigger than what it was, honestly. Like, but I don't know what it is about Kiss, because Kiss is one of my favorite MCs, but he does not have a Reasonable Doubt, a Ready to Die, a Bandana. He doesn't have one of those albums.
Yeah.
So Freddie has that. So right now, I might put Freddie above Jada because I weight an artist's ability to make a project very high. Though I think 10 years from now, I probably will be different in that. I may think differently because there's a lack of incentive to um, make well thought out projects as it was when we were growing up. So maybe I'm outdated.
Would you say Jada is Charles Barkley to Freddie Gibbs, Kawhi Leonard?
I would say he's Charles Barkley to Freddie Gibbs, Kevin Garnett. I'm just saying because I think they're in the same. They play the same position.
Yeah.
And so, Jada, you know, but I think that's a difference with Freddie. Freddie's a very interesting artist, and we'll probably do more on him, so I can give you guys more lines. But Freddie was failing at the hip hop business, failing. Like he got dropped, and then went to jump on Jeezy's CTE record label, and they fell out, and he left Jeezy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And like we'll talk about Freddie. He has to bring up a Jeezy line in every album for some reason. He just has to. Some more disrespectful than others, some just comical. But Freddie just was like, forget it. I'm just going to do what Currency does, and I am going to do what I do.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll never ever sell 500,000 records or get 2 billion streams or something. But there's going to be this real sect of 100,000, maybe 200,000 people that are going to rock with me hard. They're going to be at all my shows. They're going to buy my merch. They're going to stream my album. And that's just going to be good enough for me. And that's what Freddie has done. Whereas Jada, since he came out in the 90s and is used to a label doing a rollout and all this type of stuff, it's sort of harder for a lot of those 90s MCs and early 2000s, but definitely the 90s MCs. It's very hard for them to move past the old way of doing things. Yeah. Those like the Jadas and them, they're still looking for album deals. Like they're still trying to get, for real. I mean, it's the truth. They're still looking for album deals. Where if you look at what Griselda's doing, we'll talk about them later too in another thing. But the Buffalo, New York collaborative of Griselda, which is Benny the Butcher and Conway and my man Westside Gunn, they're super Freddie Gibbs, but probably more gangster than Freddie Gibbs in a lot of ways. Stuff like really hardcore stuff, but they're using the SoundCloud model and the YouTube model too.
Yeah.
But they did sign the Shady Records, so they still got the big record deal. But it's almost like that's background. They still rely on their niche market, and Jada just is not. I don't know. Like I think they try, but Jada's older than me. Jada's 40. Jada gotta be 40, 42 years old.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit harder. Whereas Gibbs still in his 30s. He's not a young person, not super young, but he grew up in the internet, which is a big difference. And he had people who saw it were like Currency I think Currency is the best example of that model, period. Because Currency will never ever go gold. Ever. Currency will never ever get a Grammy nomination. I bet Currency's records, I don't even know if they still show videos on BET and MTV, but I guarantee you his videos probably never get shown. But he is incredibly successful. I've seen him on tour 3 times, and there's a waiting line outside to get in. Be like Currency. Not everybody's gonna be Drake.
Not everybody's gonna be Champagne Poppy.
No. Like a lot of these artists, they came at the right time, but No, man, no.
It's okay to be malt Schlitz liquor. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to be a niche market. It's okay to be it's okay to be a Yingling. I don't know of a better example, but like those craft beers, those beers that no one drinks, but they still sell.
Right.
Because if you were a Yingling guy, you're gonna go out of your way to find Yingling. They may only sell that in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. So in Georgia, if you live like, dang, I gotta get some Yingling, you're gonna find a way to get it. In Texas, it's Shiner. Like that's the beer in Texas. It's Shiner. Everybody drinks Shiner. You're gonna find your beer. I have driven a ridiculous amount of miles for some particular food. Sadly, I drove 40 miles for some Zaxby's a couple weeks ago.
What?
Yeah, it's pandemic. I'm bored. I need to be outside anyway. I'm driving. Before I know it, I'm like, there's a Zaxby's 40 miles from here.
What? There wasn't a better option for chicken?
No, but that's the thing. It's not about better options. It's not about better. It's about what I want at that time. I live in the DC area. I can go get chicken strips from somewhere. I can't get Zax sauce though. I can get chicken strips, but like, be Zaxby's. Not everybody's gonna be McDonald's. And Drake is definitely McDonald's. He's definitely McDonald's, and that's not even a diss. But he when I say he's McDonald's, he's the most adaptable artist of this generation by far.
Well known, popular. Everybody knows him.
Steals, styles, borrows, styles. Yo, real talk. Like when the what do you call it? I don't want to be using the wrong term, but the African beats, Afro beats. Mm-hmm. When Afro beats got cool, didn't we all know Drake was gonna come out with some Afro beat stuff? He did. Remember a couple years ago when, like, a lot of that dance hall light vibe was cool. Yes. Which really was the pre-Afro beats. We just didn't know it. Drake came out with controller. I'm like, come on. So
now, what's the difference between a dude like Snoop, who's done reggae?
Same thing. Snoop just cooler. That's it. Nah, Snoop. Hey, you right about that. Nah, when Auto-Tune was dope, and then Snoop killed it with Sexual Seduction. I was like, OG. It's an OG. That's an OG move. You know what I'm saying? When the minimalist like snap music sort of was coming out, when he come out, drop it like it's hard, drop it like I'm like, I see you, Snoop. I see you.
Well played.
Yeah, like you said, the Reggae Lion. No, Snoop Lion. Sorry, the Snoop Lion stuff came out. Once again, it was during that pre-Afro beats, like vibe, the controller and all that was going on. So now he's Snoop Lion now. Like, yeah, but that's what it takes. It goes to other industries. Will Smith is okay. We're not gonna talk about what's currently going on with Cuz, but you know what I'm saying. But like, he has been a chameleon throughout his whole career. Like, when that sci-fi real big boom, he was a big part of that with Men in Black and of course Independence Day. He was a big part of that. When the bios were like really big, like just do bios, he doing Ali. When vampire movies were starting to really kill, what did he do? I Am Legend. When superhero movies, he did Hancock. Like, when the robotic apocalyptic stuff, he did iRobot. Like, he is a chameleon. And of course, superhero, he did Suicide Squad. That movie was not good, Will. but the gritty superhero movies, like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna do Suicide Squad. And now that everybody's being unimaginative and doing all the sequels, we got Bad Boys 3. Like, I mean, he is a super chameleon. And if you want to last, Drake, Snoop, the run stopped, but LL for a long time. Like, you gotta adjust if you want to be at that level of mainstream. Now there's certain, you know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely got some of our guys that are gonna make music forever, and they not gonna sell a million records anymore. But Scarface come out with an album tomorrow. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And I know a lot of people feel the exact same way. They're just going to go get it. It's just the way it is.
Oh my God.
All right, man. So I'll turn it back over to you, man.
No doubt.
Good convo, though. Good convo.
Great convo.
Yeah.
We're going to move into the next topic at hand.
Okay, let's go.
Intro into revolutionary conscious rap.
Wow, that's a big topic, especially for right now, Frito, because a lot of that tone is in vogue right now.
Yeah.
So, oh wow, interesting. So hip hop is really weird, but people gotta understand how young it really is. Like hip hop is really young. Like even when we were getting into it in the late '80s, it still wasn't recognized as a musical genre in a lot of
not at all.
A lot of
musical circles.
Musical circles, respected musicals. You gotta put that respected in there. I'm not respected. But like we can talk all about how like they weren't getting nominated for Grammys, and even if they got nominated, they weren't being shown on television.
Right.
Speaking of Will Smith boycotted the Grammys because he was like, I'm not showing up if I'm not going to be able to if I win, if I'm not going to be able to say something. Like y'all pushing us to the back of the line. Jay-Z did similar things. So yeah. And so music, especially hip hop, sort of mirrors what's going on in the time, I think. And you talked about it. You actually kicked this off with the White Lines conversation from the last day, where you're literally talking about the power. This is the cocaine epidemic. You know what I mean? This is in the middle of the cocaine epidemic, which very quickly turned into the crack epidemic. And Reaganomics, trickle down economics, which is pretty much if the rich people get richer, that will filter down to middle class. And the middle class will get stronger. It's just a joke. Anyway, so hip hop started to started to respond to that, because you're always gonna have party music. You're always gonna have party music.
Yeah.
And hip hop, of course, is literally built on the competitive nature. So you're always gonna have, I'm rapping to show you how good I can rap. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna have party music. But then you also start to get revolutionary music, and a lot of this can be attributed to Chuck D and Public Enemy. So that, I think, was my first real introduction, even though I didn't really understand stuff like Fight the Power and Bring the Noise and now 911 is a joke. You start to really see like, wow, like these cats are really brave. But it's very important. There's something very important about Public Enemy. They also were profitable. And so, yes, they were on Def Jam, The House That Rush, and Rick Rubin built, but they were as much as, like definitely Russ has always been like, yo, Chuck and Public Enemy, they set the standard for revolutionary rap, but they also were popular. They were selling. They were going platinum. You know what I'm saying? And you had the kids of the hippie movement, and you had black kids mixed in with black kids that wanted to hear this aggressive son of what Marvin Gaye and James Brown were doing. Because James Brown and Marvin Gaye, yes, they gave you sexual healing and Dance Machine and all this type of stuff, but they also gave you I'm Black and I'm Proud and What's Going On. And so Chuck D and Public Enemy, they were sort of like the offshoot of that in a very even more way.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, something else was happening on the other side of the country. A different type of revolutionary music was being formed in California, led by Ice-T, and to a greater extent, NWA. And so, whereas I could be real and say that Public Enemy stuff was like really sensational, really dangerous for its time. Like, I mean, literally, how you start off a song saying, "I got a letter from the government the other day, opened it and read it, said they were suckers. It said they wanted me for their army or whatever." Like, wow, Chuck D, like you just, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like he breaks down in the song, like and in other songs about how this system really uses us, for its disposal. Whereas NWA, they just came out and said it. F the police. But that song is so. It amazes me how many people have never really heard the song. I think people think that it's a song where they just saying like "F the police" and that's just like it's but no, it's literally a storytelling song. Like the song is built from a court case perspective. Dr. Dre's the judge, and the police are on trial, and then you have the role of Eazy-E, MC Ren, and Ice Cube as like attorneys, as prosecuting attorneys. And so they're making their own argument. So it's not just like some dumb song. Like it's really a super crafted. Shout out to Ice Cube. Shout out to MC Ren, who I think did the bulk of the writing, of course, of this song. Ice Cube said that he wrote it as a response to things that were going on in his neighborhood. And the movie made it look like it happened like that, but he was just like, yeah, man, like I was getting tired of it. I was like, how can I put this in a song? He was smart enough to know he just could make some. If you're gonna call something "F the police," it just can't be like "F the police, F the police." Like it needs to be super well thought out, and it is. It's so. The first line, "F the police," coming straight from the underground. A young player got it bad because I'm brown, and not the undercutter. So the police think they have the authority to kill a minority. Like that could be said right now.
And that was before the Rodney King thing, right?
Yes, yeah. Like they told NW and Ice Cube told us exactly what was about to happen, and and no one listened. You know what I'm saying? They told us. Ice Cube told us this on this song. He definitely told us on his first album, America's Most Wanted. So that was my introduction to what I didn't even know yet was revolutionary music, but it's from two different points of view. And one definitely is a little bit more like Public Enemy is aggressive, but NWA was coming from a different level of aggression. I felt like Public Enemy was more accepted by the liberal, some of the liberal media and stuff like that at the time, and even black people. Where I think NWA scared people, like they were scary. You know what I mean? So I'll turn it back over to you. What about you?
So it's funny about the whole police thing because really, I want to say maybe about 8 years later, in the South, you had Goody Mob talking about them dirty red dogs are at the door. You know, like
please speak more on this, dog. Please speak more on this.
So Goody Mob on their album, I think it was their first album. Yeah, I think it was their first album. Yeah,
Soul Food.
On Soul Food, and to be honest with you, at the time that I heard it, I did not know about that until I saw the Netflix documentary.
Okay.
Where they go more into it on kind of like how the government system in Atlanta were trying to do their war on drugs. And so they had basically police officers just knocking on doors.
And they called them the Red Dogs. They called them the Red Dogs.
And they called them the Red Dogs. And, that's kind of like when you put one and two together and just kind of like see like, all right, whoa, they're talking about basically police brutality in a sense. And them basically just taking out their rights and them just coming into their house recklessly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like
no search warrants, no wars, bro. Well, you saw in California during that time, they were coming through people's houses with the freaking battering ram tanks.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry if I pronounce this word wrong, everybody, but the militarization of police. It's amazing how it's become this big thing now, but it's been like this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Imagine someone coming through your neighborhood with a tank battering ram.
That's serious.
And then I tell you what they're looking for. Are they looking for kidnapped kids? No. They're looking for drugs. Like they're willing to batter ram your house forget who's in it, children, whomever, for drugs. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like it same thing with the Red Dogs. We didn't have tanks in Atlanta, you know, but yeah, but still it was a very aggressive time. It was a very, very aggressive time. And wow, you did a really good segue, because you start off with Public Enemy and them, and then at the same time, like you have the South starting to really rise because of UGK, 8 Ball MTG, the
Yeah.
Ghetto Boys, and then Atlanta finally gets their movement. And Goody Mob is the most underrated social conscious group ever.
It's true.
And I like the way you said it. Like the South did it. Goody Mob in particular did it in a way different way that even the West Coast and a lot of the East Coast, you know, Public Enemy and the like, were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing that the South sort of took that conscious, and but the thing about the South is we're able to make it danceable and fun. And I think that's something that I didn't get, you know, because this was around this time. Like I remember Rasheed Wallace going on Rap City, and Joe Claire, the incredible Joe Claire, the host, being like, "Who do you like?" And he's like, "I only mess with real hip hop." And he was like, "I only mess with Wu Tang and Redman. I don't mess with the Goody Mobs and the E40s." And I remember watching that. And I'm a Rasheed Wallace fan even to this day. I think he's I don't want to misquote him, but I think he's gone back on some of that stuff. You know, he said he was like a rookie or a sophomore in the league when he said this. So it's like, you know, 90 or early mid 90s. But it's like, how is Goody Mob not real hip hop?
Right.
How's that possible? Like you know, the progressive nature of a lot of the things that they were saying was just crap. Like you did the Red Dog Police part of it, but I mean, check out Cell Therapy. If anyone has never ever listened to Cell Therapy, that song, you may have to get the lyrics and print them out, you know, because if you're not used to the Southwest Atlanta dialect, you know, especially of Cujo, who goes first, but he is talking about, he's literally saying stuff that people are making whole Instagram and YouTube videos about, like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you know, I mean, you know, like when he's talking about that the Constitution says in the event of a race war, you know what I'm saying? Like laws may go away, and now you're starting to see with the pandemic, like people trying to instill versions of martial law, or you know, even now, like you start to like, wow, he literally was saying that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and the fact that he's saying in the song that the W-2s and 1099s are ways to identify ourselves and be tracked by the government. It is stuff that, like, you like, oh, he's crazy, but you're like, no, he's saying some real stuff. But
I mean, the hook even, like, who's that peeping in my window?
Nobody now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it did. So the other side of that is, if you would have told me in 1995 that CeeLo Green would be this super mainstream judge on The Voice, multi-Grammy nominated, winning, deserving. CeeLo is a genius out here. But the fact that he turned into this pop star, like CeeLo.
Right.
You know, the same man who said that, this is crazy. This is 1995, what I'm about to say. This is incredible. Oh, you know what else they trying to do? Make a curfew, especially for me and you, the traces of the new world order. Time is getting shorter. If we don't get prepared, people, it's going to be a slaughter. My mind won't allow me not to be curious. My folk don't understand, so they don't take it serious. But every now and then, I wonder if the gate was put up to keep crime out or keep our ass in. 95. Yes, the same guy who's doing "fuck you" and no, that's some real language that just got dropped.
It was dropping it. Yeah.
Like that was, and if you can really hold on, check out the Experience from the second album, the song Experience, where CeeLo goes on a pretty much 3-minute rant on our use of the word nigga. And it's incredible. I'm gonna turn it over to you. I'll turn it over to you to talk more. I might pull up a couple of those lyrics real quick.
Sure. So